Morning and good evening, everyone. That's because I'm so excited. That's why I'm even saying good morning instead of good evening. We are so happy to be here with you. We thank our Honorable Minister having attempted to come and join you guys here. She had a problem with a plane which had technical problems, but Minister still said, I am going to Sky City. For that, can we clap hands for Minister? We're going to have a very short program. I'm going to call Councillor Lisiba Mpia, member of the Mayoral Committee of Human Settlements, to come and give us a word of welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. Minister. Oh, sorry, good evening, everyone. We've been here the whole day. Yes, Councillor MMC Lisiba Mpia left for the REC meeting. I'm standing in for him. My name is Councillor Mzianda Mgezu, and I'm also a ward councillor here. Mine is simple to welcome everyone. I'm just going to mention the companies, Cosmopolitan, the CDP, that is developing on behalf. I've already mentioned you, Minister, the entire team, the entire entourage of the Minister, any other councillors if they're here in the House, members of the community, constructors, laborers, everyone who participate in this good work. Everyone is welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ward Councillor. Minister, FLISP is going to make wonders in South Africa one day. We acknowledge that it had teething problems, but as NHFC, we're trying to manage those. And we're going to have to make it work because this FLISP is housing our people. So, the next speaker who's on the program is Mr. Willem Smith, Sky City Senior Construction City Manager. He's gonna give us an overview of community development in Sky City.
Good evening. The Minister of Human Settlements, Water and Sanitation, Mayor of Ekurhuleni, Deputy Director General, esteemed guests, and specifically my colleagues and the subcontractors sitting here, welcome to Sky City. Sky City was appointed by Cosmopolitan in 2017 and started construction on the Sky City development in the second part of that year. Houses range between 40 and 126 square meters, typically 2 to 4 bedroom houses. Construction programs are drawn up. Progress is continually monitored and quality is thoroughly inspected by Cosmopolitan. Production is tough, while programs are strictly adhered to for the timiest delivery for our awaiting clients. CDP has along with its subcontractors, delivered 3,700 houses to date, which averages out to 1,000 houses per year. It might sound like a piece of cake. From Sky City's inception, CDP entered into a relationship with the communities of Greenfields, Eden Park, Palm Ridge, and Thokoza. Sky City is situated within the boundaries of Ward 53, 58, and 61. But this relationship could not have been possible without the involvement of these communities and their elected representatives. This collective is commonly known as the GEPT Business Forum, or as I like to refer to them, our business partners. Their members are Mr. Mfundiso Fodo, Julius Maditi, and Sanele Ngobane. Sky City's success is often referred to as a good example of what can be achieved when business and community work together. Of course, this was not always so. If only I could take you back in time to those early days when people were strangers to one another and distrust in abundance. It would be convenient for any single person standing here to declare that the forging of those first relationships were easy. The truth is that meetings were held, tempers flared, things were said, but ultimately the suspicion made way for wisdom, tolerance, and mutual understanding. You see, ladies and gentlemen, over the past 3 to 4 years, 18 million bricks did not lay itself. 3.2 million roof tiles did not stack themselves. 340,000 liters of paint did not magically appear on the walls, on the ceilings, and the frames. Most of these activities, and many others, were conducted by companies owned by community residents and labor originating from the surrounding communities. Of the 61 subcontracting companies working at CDP Affordable Housing, 39 derived from the local community. That is a 63% direct community participation in the Sky City Affordable Housing project. The few statistics that I now mentioned illustrates how CDP and the community has formed a symbiotic relationship with both thriving in business together. An example of how such a relationship starts is found with Nandipa Guma from Guma Projects. She started with me in 2018 at the FLISP sections in Extension 9. Nandipa at that stage had very little experience in construction and general business management. With the training and guidance of one Kenneth Shabangu, CDP foreman, she gradually increased her skills, her knowledge, and her ability to become the independent contractor that she is now. Often the longest journey begins with a single step, and many of our community contractors started their journey in construction by taking their first steps at Sky City. CDP, along with suppliers and other partners, invests in the contractors through training and skills transfer. Certain contractors, like our ceiling contractor, Julius Maditi. CDP further assisted certain subcontractors with securing credit facilities from participating manufacturing, supplier, and distribution companies. For upskilling, we have either our in-house trainers or external consultants catering for each trade's training. In summary, CDP is proud of the contribution it is making to improving the lives of clients while improving the lives of communities. This is an amazing development, and we have another 10 years plus left. It is now a privilege to ask Chairperson of the Local Business Forum, Mr. Fodo, to say a few kind words. Thank you.
Congratulations. We were listening to someone who's really making sure that the work is done. And the people who are working with him, we are proud of you, the workers. At this stage, we will ask a presentation by the acting Chief Executive Officer of an NHFC. Mr. Caesar Tate, can you come and tell us something about FLISP and how you're going to make it work?
Good evening, everybody. Honorable Minister, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. My duty is very basic, and I'll try and speed up what I have to talk about, which is this program called FLISP. It stands for Finance Linked Individual Subsidy Program. It's really the facility that is aimed at assisting people who borrow, either from a bank or any finance lender for purposes of putting up a house, so that their repayments or their ability to repay can be made better. Example where you have to borrow 100,000, instead of paying a loan of 100,000, FLIPS comes in to reduce that amount. So your loan is now based maybe on 80,000, depending on the scale or the income that you are earning. FLISP is aimed to help people who are earning between 3,500 and maximum of which is 22,000 per month. And those are the individuals who historically, we all know, sometimes battle to raise money from financial institutions because of their earning ability, and therefore the difficulty to pay back the amount. Now, what do you do with FLIPS? Subsidy, or where do you apply it? One of the instances, you buy an existing house or a new house. I'm going to need a light here. But it must be a residential property. The meaning of that is it's not just any other property, but it must be meant for residential reasons. The other scenario, you buy a vacant serviced residential stand linked to one of our organizations called National Home Builders Registration, National Home Builders Registration Council. And it must be registered a home builder with a contract. The other scenario, you build a residential property on a self-owned, serviced residential stand. It could also apply in rural areas where we call them the travel stands. Again, it must be through NHBRC with a registered home builder. As I said, the subsidy amount will range from 27,000 to around 121,000, depending on the applicant's income. Who can apply? Who qualifies to benefit from FLIPS? We don't mean our specification here. You must be a South African citizen with a valid identity document or permanent resident with a valid permit. You must be over 18 years of age, competent to take or make a legal contract. You must have not benefited from a government subsidy before. So if you have been, let's say, in an RDP house, you're graduating, you do not qualify for FLIPS. It's for those people who, for the first time, will dip into the government scheme like this one. You must have an approved in-principle home loan. So in other words, the bank should have said, yes, you do qualify in terms of their own criteria first, but now FLISP will help you to reduce your repayment capacity. And as I've said, the income ranges between 3.5 to about 22,000. Just to run through the requirements quickly, South African barcoded ID, birth certificate of South Africa, and with a ID of all financial dependents where applicable, proof of foster children and guardianships where applicable, marriage certificate and civil union, cohabitation affidavit, proof of partnership where applicable, spouse death certificate where applicable, proof of monthly income. All of these things are done not that you have to submit all of them, it depends on if from the beginning you do not have an ID, you do not have a birth certificate, we then find mechanisms of verifying you are indeed an authentic South African. I'm not going to bore you with the figures. I was going to give you examples. If you borrow X and you earn so much, this is how it works. That information can be made available for you at a later stage. There are two options I want to share with you. One option, there's a development housing project such as Sky City here. The applicant identifies the property from a developer like Cosmopolitan. They sign the offer to purchase of the property with the developer. The developer assists the applicant to apply for the home loan with a lender. It could be a bank of the applicant's choice. The applicant then completes the FLISP forms together with the developer, and then they submit those to the National Housing Finance Corporation. There's another option in the open market where the applicant identifies a new or an existing property in the market where those properties are being sold. Today, in other words, you can go to an existing area and choose a property, then sign the property offer to purchase with a seller through sometimes an estate agent. It could be an independent process. Then the applicant applies for a home loan to a lender. The same process happens. After the loan is approved or pre-approved, in other words, the bank says, subject to you getting FLISP, we are in principle approving you. So that loan will not be approved until the approval of FLIPS comes through, and then the bank completes the application process. So let me come to a conclusion quickly. I don't want to repeat what I've already said about the earning. Let me jump straight to where are we now? We have been processing applications and you can all imagine how long it takes when you receive an application, because one of the requirements we must do is when you tell us and you give us a copy of your ID, is to verify this is a legit ID. So we have to communicate and confirm with Home Affairs that indeed this is a South African resident. So we've been receiving these through emails, hard copies, faxes, etc. Then these would be processed by our administrators, unload them into the system, and process. That process on its own, because it's manual, produced a lot and lots of delays. But however, now we are finalizing a computerized process which will have a portal through which all clients and partners, in other words, estate agents, conveyancers, developers like here, will be able to submit these applications via that portal. So they'll be able to download it into their own system, complete the application form, and immediately you complete, it then gets whisked over to National Housing. The quality controls that has to take place is what I've given you examples, that it's a valid identification document, there's nothing falsified, and then we ship that application. Once that quality check has happened, immediately to finance for payment. Indeed, this will reduce the turnaround times, where sometimes we used to take almost 6 weeks waiting for an answer from various parties. We will automate the verification of your ID with Home Affairs. We've now been given the access to that system so that we automate that process. So we hope it will bring it down to not longer than six working days. So I hope, Minister, this process will get finished in the next 2 months or so. And indeed, we should have the capacity to produce thousands and thousands of applications as it promised for the future. Without further much, thank you very much for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
Thank you, CEO Ntate Tati. Minister will be very proud to see what you are doing at NHFC. We're trying to improve the technology that's processing applications, as Mr. Tati has said. We want to link NHFC with the banks, the Home Affairs, so that, applications can really be speeded up. So with FLISP, we see that if it can be implemented correctly and adequately, we're gonna help house the nation. And we are proud of that. So at this stage, ladies and gentlemen, let me call and introduce our Minister, Lindiwe Sisulu. He's the Minister of Human Settlements, Water, and Sanitation, just to come and say a few words. And we must acknowledge that our minister is very tired. She struggled with the planes, but at least she's here. Welcome.
Sanibonani. Ninjani? Ngize la ngizobona nina. I'd like to acknowledge the executives of Cosmopolitan who've made my day today. I'd like to acknowledge Mayor Pekane and the CEO of my bank. I'm very proud of what I've seen today. For a long time, we've been working on this idea of helping people who fall outside the bracket of the free house to help themselves. And we've been calling it FLISP and FLISP. Until one day, Minister of Finance said, I don't understand this terminology of FLISP. Why don't you say it as it is? Help me buy a house. So what it means is we are here to help you buy a house from Cosmopolitan. And I have seen today the fruit of what is possible when we work together with Cosmopolitan, we work together with my bank, we work together with the city of Ekurhuleni. Thank you so much for your presence here. And also, if you could give my thanks to the mayor and the MMC and everybody who should have been here. I will deduct it from their salaries, but they could not have missed a day like this. It has been a wonderful, wonderful day. And I am sorry that we arrive here so late, but I am glad I'm here so late, because when they told me I'm going to Sky City, I thought it was this high-rise building, until I was told, no, it's a skyline, and I actually managed to see the skyline, and I would not have been able to see the skyline if I hadn't come at this time of day. So everything happens for a reason. My flight fails for a reason, and I'm here at this particular time for a reason. I want to acknowledge everybody who's made this possible, Cosmopolitan executives. Thank you so much. I've been trying to persuade them to spread their wings around the whole country so that we can reproduce what we have here. And they say, Minister, thanks for the compliment, but no thanks. We are just here. We work very well with Ekurhuleni and very well in the Gauteng area. Find somebody else to go to your areas. So I will take this, we're recording this, I'll take this and give it as a challenge to other provinces. To say, if Gauteng can do it, why can't you do it? Why can't you do it? Because if we do this around the country, imagine just how much we would put into our economy. Because each house that you build is a unit that adds to the value of our economy. What you do here for us is invaluable. As I was walking around and admiring all the houses and talking to the very happy people who have got those houses, I was told, no, actually, this would not have happened until you see the real people who made it possible. And these are the real people who made it possible. No, Pagaman, justice, standing there. Thank you so much. Now, in my language, we say, Amandla, Amandla, Siyabonga. Thank you very much. I don't want to take too much of your time, But I did have here a few people that were mentioned that I thought I would also say personally thank you to, and it is Nandipa and Julius. No, it can't be that Julius, eh? No, it isn't. Nandipa, Julius, and the general manager, and everybody else who's made this possible for me. I would like a list from Cosmopolitan of all the people who work here so I can personally give you a certificate to say, you made me so proud. You have made me so proud. As I was driving around and seeing this place, I thought, oh my God, this is what's possible. This is what's possible. Thank you so much. I have one request, a very special request. As you build these houses and you educate the people who buy these houses, please say to them not to sell these houses. Not to sell these houses, because the value in it is not only the monetary value, but the value of the love you have shown in building those houses for them. Because they may have got them at a particular price, but the value will grow. And when the value grows, it is possible for them to leave it for their children and whatever else. We in South Africa, especially South African blacks, have not had these opportunities of investing in property. But here we are now, through you, allowing our young generation to invest in property and build a future for their children. Please advise them not to sell the property until such time as, of course, they have better means. But I'd prefer that they hand it over to their siblings and we keep it within ourselves. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because we have a lot of people in South Africa who would be able to buy these houses almost as soon as they're given to their owners. This has happened in Cosmo City. Cosmo City was built very much around these kind of ideas. I went there the following day. I didn't understand a single language that was being spoken there. So I'm wanting to keep these houses for us and make sure that this is the value that the South African economy can get out of this. Thank you to the CEO and Mayor Pekane. CEO, there was a mild complaint about the time you take to process these things, and I heard you when you came here saying that this is something of the past. So maybe you'll take one day to process one. Thank you, thank you. So one a day will make it so much better for us, and we will be able to take up so many other people who are dying to have a house over their roof. Is the best thing it's actually the only thing that defines what it is that we promise our people. We promise our people houses, and here we are providing those houses. My sincerest gratitude. You will take it, MMC, to the mayor, because quite clearly it is the environment in which we live in and that he has created which has made this possible. I would like to indicate to him that I would like him to share the experience with other mayors in other provinces so that we have the same thing everywhere else. And for all of you who are here, I would like to give you a late Christmas gift in your next salary through the manager here. So when you get your next salary and it is higher than what you had the last time, you know that is my gift to you to say thank you so much for providing what you have provided. It is beautiful houses. Thank you very, very much. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much, Minister. You mentioned that the community should really look after the houses and keep the houses to themselves. And there's another issue, Minister. They must also make payments to the bonds. Because as a bank, we need to reinvest your money so that we can build more houses. Please. So please, let us continue paying back the money so that we can build for future generations. At this stage, Minister asked me to close the occasion. Minister, you see now. Okay. The councillor is going to make a vote of thanks for us. And thank you for being a good audience. I'm not coming back here. So after the councillor finishes, we would have closed the occasion. Please come, councillor.
Thank you very much. One more time. It's going to be a very short and quick, Minister. We thank you for choosing us today. You would have been somewhere busy with other things. You chose us. We thank you very much. We thank you, CEO, and the entire team. We thank you, Cosmo, for inviting the Minister. We thank you for allowing this program to be implemented and be a success. The partnering with the government. We thank everyone, in all the spheres of government. I know our city working very hard together with Cosmo, pulling and pushing in trying to approve certain things. We started in a very slow, but I think by now we're doing well. But the very, very important people that are doing the smaller things that are not necessarily calculated, our workers, our contractors, our community. Unity has proven that if we come together, we put things on the table, we agree and we implement. Minister, this is one program that is not stopped willy-nilly. Many programs, you go to Pretoria and other municipalities, Cosmo is complaining that the project is stopped. It's not happening here. So I want to thank the forum one more time for the stunning job that you are doing in uniting and bringing everyone on board and not necessarily, segregating people, accepting everyone. Minister, in closing, I would like to invite you to bricklaying. It's just going to take few minutes. It's not far from here, laying the foundation. By that, I think everyone, I welcomed. Now I'm saying thank you to everyone. We are going to close. I don't know if program director is going to come back, but before we close everything, it's me. Okay. So I think the department will try and usher us, and Cosmo to the bricklay, and then we'll be closing. I think that's the last item, then we're done. Thank you very much. Amandla!